Greetings, everyone. My name is Jim Wild, and I'm one of the co-owners here at Entourage Expeditions and Lake Country Travel, which is located in downtown Heartland. On behalf of ourselves and the Heartland Chamber of Commerce, we want to present to you today the private, legendary Rhine River Cruise, which is set to sail May 6th to the 13th in 2022. Our journey is going to take a southbound route along the Rhine River, starting up in the Netherlands in the capital city of Amsterdam. From there, we will make our way down south through Germany, into France, and then ending up in the country of Switzerland. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about us next. What makes us different and who we are? Well, we are your hometown travel company. Like I said, we are located in downtown Heartland, recently moved from Pewaukee. We are award-winning, as well as we're nationally recognized for our group tours. What makes us different and unique is we custom design every tour that we do. We will also help you along the way, before, during, and after all of our journeys. So if you need a little help, a little hold of the hand, we are going to be there along the way. Most of our departures, including this one, are private and exclusive. So there's going to be nobody else coming on board this ship that I'm going to be talking about here. So with that, let's talk about who our partners are in this river cruise, and it's Amadeus Cruise Lines. Many of us here in the United States probably don't recognize the term or the cruise line Amadeus. Well, they've been around for over 40 years, and they were actually the ones who created the concept of river cruising, what we know today. We set sail with them 2 years ago on the Danube River, and we found out that they were absolutely phenomenal. All of our guests were very happy and satisfied with everything, the great service, as well as the food. So here is a little clip that we have here that's going to show you a little bit about what Amadeus does on board. Like I said, Amadeus has been around for over 40 years. Most of their ships are new and fairly new to the fleet. The ship that we'll be sailing on the Rhine is called the Amadeus Imperial, which was commissioned in 2020. As you can see, the features on board are quite elegant. There's 3 main levels. For our dining, this is our bar panorama area. Beautiful staterooms, which I'll talk about a little later. Quite spacious, and I'll talk about the floor-to-ceiling windows as well. I'm going to be talking about this quite often, but the dining on board is quite elegant, considered fine dining. They pick a lot of the fresh air food from the areas and the regions that we will be traveling along. Not only is Amadeus going to be there along the way when we're sailing down the Rhine River, but they're going to be with us on the excursions. Granted, we won't be seeing the Eiffel Tower on this journey, but we will be seeing 9 different excursions that were fully part of our package here, which again, I will discuss after the video is over. This is off the coast of France, and again, we won't be sailing down there, but again, it gives you an idea Amadeus's reach around the world in which they sail their ships. Again, exquisite dining, drinks are included on board. You're actually free-flowing wine and beer, and soft drinks are included in your lunch and dinners. Cocktails, obviously, for an additional fee. But that just kind of gives you a little picture of Amadeus Cruise Lines itself. So now let's talk about the river cruise that we're talking about in May of 2022. This is a 7-night river cruise on board the Amadeus Imperial, brand new ship sailing down from Amsterdam all the way down to Basel in Switzerland. All your dining's included, from buffet breakfast to lunch, dinner, and if you're still hungry at that point, a midnight stack. Music program Educational features and stuff like that will be given nightly on board, as well as a welcome cocktail, a welcome dinner, and then we do have a captain's gala farewell dinner towards the end of our sailing. Now, including with the special onboard entertainment, we're going to have complimentary Wi-Fi, as well as a 24-hour coffee station. So those of you feeding for a little cup of joe, you'll be able to have access 24 hours a day. We will provide bottled water in every stateroom, and then audio headsets. These come with you in your stateroom, and those are what you take along in shore excursions. On this cruise itself are 9 fully escorted shore excursions. If you don't want to go on an shore excursion, that's fine. You might want to walk into town. A lot of the ports that we go to are very close to the city centers of each of the towns and cities that we will go to. Or you can use one of their complimentary use of one of their onboard bicycles. And even if you didn't get enough fitness by all the walking tours and different fun little activities that we have scheduled every day, there is a fitness room, which is open 24 hours a day. Now, also included is a multilingual speaking cruise director. So he or she will be speaking English and obviously understand the language of all of us. And I mentioned earlier, but free-flowing red and white regional wines, as well as beer and soft drinks will be included during lunch and dinner on board. It is a non-smoking environment. There is no smoking permitted in any of the staterooms, restaurants, or lounges. There is a certain spot on the sun deck that is reserved for anybody who wants to smoke. All your port charges and local taxes are included in the price of the package. So make sure that you fully understand that. A lot of cruise lines out there will have that as an additional supplement. Ours is fully included. We will have pre-departure social mixers in the Lake Country area starting in March of this year, where we'll discuss a lot of different things that are going to be happening along the way. And also you can meet some of your fellow cruisers. Entourage Expeditions, myself, as well as my co-owner Bob Winter, as well as Lynn Minturn from the Heartland Chamber will be on board assisting through this journey. So let's go over the itinerary. There's 8 days that I have to talk about, so we'll get started. Day 1, you're going to arrive into Amsterdam, and this is where we're going to embark on the cruise ship, the Imperial, in the afternoon. So followed by that, we'll have a welcome cocktail, getting settled in, and then a welcome dinner. We will be ported in Amsterdam for the first night. So if you want to go out and explore perhaps the red light district or the many little streets and canals around Amsterdam, you're more than welcome to do so that first night, because we will set sail the following day. But our first day is in Amsterdam, which is the capital city of the Netherlands. Beautiful houses align many of the canals that are along the area in Amsterdam itself. Day 2 is we'll make our journey from Amsterdam. We'll do a city tour in the morning, followed by a tour of North Holland. So we'll make our way up into the Holland area of the Netherlands, known for its famous Dutch cheese, but we'll be able to sample some of that, as well as see some of the Dutch windmills that they're very famous for. As well as, we are going to stop in the town of Hoorn, up in the northern end of the Netherlands. Here's a little idea of what you'll be seeing along the way. This is, for example, the train station in Amsterdam. Beautiful cathedral with many waterways in Amsterdam itself. And of course, the gorgeous windmills, followed by the absolutely beautiful tulips. So keep in mind, this is the beginning of May. It is springtime, and it is towards the end of the tulip season. So we have our fingers crossed that the tulip seasons will be just like this, and you'll see fields and fields of tulips in the beautiful Netherlands. Followed by the end of our trip, day 2, on our land tour excursion is in the city of Hoorn. It's an old shipping town, many ships, old relics, and many fishing. It's a fishing community, actually, and we'll be able to tour around that before meeting up with the boat. The boat will actually set sail from Amsterdam while we are on our excursions in this area, and it'll catch up with us in Hoorn just in time for lunch. So that afternoon, we will set sail then from Hoorn through back south through the Netherlands. So we'll be sailing that afternoon and evenings and overnight, where we will end up the next morning in the country of Germany. We will wake up after breakfast. We will go on a walking tour of the beautiful city of Cologne, and we'll discover this absolutely charming, beautiful city that you can see in this picture right here, at night, the beautiful cathedral and such. Here's a little picture of the inside of the cathedral, part of your excursion package here that's included with us on our private legendary Rhine River Cruise. Again, we'll be able to tour around and spend some time. We do have it scheduled to spend the entire day in Cologne as of right now. So there'll be some free time in which you'll be able to walk around perhaps after lunch and do some sightseeing on your own. With our packages too, we also might put together some things last minute. If you're not comfortable going on excursions your own, you can obviously reach out to me. I'm very happy to do wine tours especially, but any kind of tours that are around in the area. So I'll keep talking and we'll go on to the next day where we're gonna make our way south. Again, we are on a southward passage. And during the morning hours, we're gonna be sailing through what is known as Castle Valley or Castle Gorge, or the Rhine Gorge. There's 3 different things that it's called. During this time in the morning hours, we are going to pass approximately 30 different castles along the way. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so we'll have some morning time relaxing on the beautiful Amadeus Imperial, seeing the castles along the way. That afternoon, we are going to take a slight detour off the Rhine River. We're going to go onto the Mosel River. That's included as well a stop in Kokum, known for its wine. It's a region definitely known for its wine. So we have a nice little walking tour scheduled for everybody in that afternoon to do some tour and of course some tasting. Beautiful city of Kokum here in the pictures provided. Absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, the landscape is starting to change as well, getting a little bit more hilly. Little pictures of some of the castles that we would see in the Castle Valley along the way. Day 5, we're going to wake up in the small city of Rudesheim. Rudesheim is a beautiful, charming little city that we have a scheduled walking tour throughout that beautiful town. Lunch is on ship. Again, all your meals will be on the ship, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we plan these things accordingly to have your excursions in the morning, in the afternoon, so we have some time to go back on board and freshen up and also have some lunch. After lunch, we have a walking tour of again, a beautiful, charming town of Koblenz. A lot of these towns that we picked along the way on the Rhine River are absolutely stunning and charming. And you'll see in some of these pictures here that we have provided for you. Again, some of the castles in this region are spectacular, and you'll have a chance to see a lot of that. Day 6, we have a couple different tours set up. We will wake up in the town of Speyer. Keep in mind, we are still in Germany at this time. Speyer is an old Roman city, one of the oldest actually in Germany itself. So we'll get to learn about its rich history. And we'll dock in Mannheim as well and take a coach bus in the afternoon, again after lunch, to the beautiful town of Heidelberg. Again, it's a very old town, rich history there, and actually one of the oldest universities in all of Europe is located in Heidelberg itself. So again, you can see the beautiful pictures of the German countryside, as well as this is a picture of the castle in Heidelberg itself, where we'll have a nice tour, and the bridge leading right into the city of Heidelberg itself. Day 7, so again at night, day 6 will be scheduled right now for the Captain's Gala. And we'll wake up the next day, day 7, we're gonna be leaving the country of Germany, and we're gonna be spending the entire day here in France. So we do have a tour of Strasbourg, one of the larger cities in Eastern France. So we'll be taking a tour of Strasbourg, again, in pictures here. A lot of the pictures can't do it justice. Obviously, a lot of you who've traveled would understand that. But again, you can kind of get the idea here. It's very Germanic and French influence here in this region. Again, this region also known for its wine and vineyards. We'll be able to see that along the way as well. Day 8, we will wake up in another country, and that country is Switzerland. So we have already made it down to Basel in Switzerland, where we will disembark our cruise during that time, after breakfast, of course. And we have some already arranged post tours available that will be coming out in March of this year So if you want to extend your trip with us in Switzerland or other points, we'll definitely have that conversation in the coming weeks and months. A couple pictures here to kind of show you a little bit of Basel itself. Beautiful city to say goodbye to Amadeus and the Imperial, and continue on your journey, whether you stay in Switzerland or at home. So like I mentioned earlier, we do have some post stays. We will have stays and tours as well. This stuff will be coming soon. Our plan is to have it available to the public in our cruise group in March. Little behind the scenes here, we will have definitely a pre-night stay in Amsterdam. So you can arrive into Amsterdam one day prior to the river cruise itself and get settled in to make sure that you don't miss the boat. As well as we will do a Dutch discovery tour where we'll have an extended pre-couple night stays touring Netherlands itself. And I mentioned earlier that it is tulip time. One of the big draws in that region is the Keukenhof Gardens, where we will have arranged a visit to that. And again, this will be part of our pre-stays that we'll discuss at a later date. And we'll talk about more of our post-stays in Switzerland. Here's a little idea of the ship, or this is not an idea, this is actually the ship layout here, where you can see the Mozart deck. That's where our A1 and suite categories are available. We do have the Strauss deck, that is where the restaurant and our B1 categories are available. And then the Hayden deck, which is below the C1 and C4 categories. And of course, on top of all of that, the Sun deck, where there's plenty of different seating that it's a beautiful day out, you want to sit outside, more than welcome to do so. At this time of this presentation here, we only have 5 cabins remaining from the ship or from this cruise. We do have 3 suites, a couple suites, and A1 category rooms. So at this time, those are the only category rooms that we have available. And I'll kind of explain each of those rooms in a little bit depth right now. Like the suite, for example, is our largest room. It's 284 square feet with a walkout balcony and outdoor seating. This is the only one that does have the outdoor seating provided on board, is in our suites as well, as well as the seating area that's provided inside. Now, all of our rooms, or all of the rooms on board, do come with the Amadeus signature bed. So it'll either have one, or you can have the 2 beds put together, as you see in the picture provided, or we can have those pulled apart. Each of the rooms will also have a bathroom with a shower, a flat screen TV, in-room safe, hairdryer, and your own individual climate control, so you can control the temperature in your room. The A1 is our panoramic classic stateroom. Again, that's located on the Mozart deck. This is where the panoramic windows from the floor to ceiling. If you recall earlier in the video, we had you've seen the little video of the window coming down. Actually, the top of the window does come down halfway. There's an electric remote on the side of the wall that you can control if you want it down to the halfway point and have the whole open window concept, or just a little bit just to get some fresh air. This one is 188 square feet. It does have a seating area inside. Again, won't have the one outside. That is only for the suites. And the classic stateroom, we are sold out of these. These are the ones below, and it's basically a porthole window, a smaller room type as well, but just for reference. So like I mentioned earlier, we do have a couple suites, a handful of suites left, as well as our A1 panoramic window classic stateroom. It's a beautiful Amadeus ship itself. That's the Silver II, one of the sister ships of the Imperial. In the background is Cologne, one of your stops on this journey. So one of the things that we always ask all of our people that are considering traveling with us is this trip for you. And one of the things that we've come up with during many of our trips around the world with our groups is our term fun. We always want to make sure that everyone's flexible. Keeping flexibility, things change sometimes. There's weather involved, there's delays in flights and stuff like that, which leads into the next phase of understanding that things could happen, things could go wrong, and obviously being nice during these times in case things do affect our trip and stuff like that. We always do our best to make sure that we have a great time. This screen is a very important screen. So if you do sign up for one of our, for this Rhine River Cruise, we'll actually give you a list of the activity levels, but this activity level, we do have the sheets here at our office. It starts a level 1 all the way up to a level 5 where there's considerable walking and stuff like that. So obviously you can decide if you want to go on an excursion or not. We do have the list of 9 excursions and detailing the activity levels for each of those there. Weather. This is probably the big white elephant in the room that we always have to discuss when river cruising. So what happens if the weather level is too high and it can affect my sailing? Well, there's 3 different things that could possibly happen. One is a ship swap. And really what that has to do is one boat might not be able to make it past a lock or a bridge because the water levels are too high or low. So we meet at a point and then get transferred over to a ship. And then we keep sailing in that direction. That's one that possibility that things happen. Has it happened before? Yes. Will they happen again? Possibly, yes. Oops. And then the second option is a land tour. Land tours is if something would happen that prevents us from sailing along the river. They take it to a land tour, an escorted tour, where we'll be staying in hotels and stuff like that along the way. Last, which is by far the rarest option of them all, is a cancellation. So if there's something that would happen, whether it's low or high water levels, things that are a problem in the area in which it's deemed unsafe, the cruise line has the right to cancel the cruise itself. Travel insurance. This is one of the biggest things that we can talk more about if you do consider signing up with us here on the Rhine River Cruise. We use Travel Guard. They are a Wisconsin-based travel company. We've been using them for over 8 years now. It's a great company that we've dealt with in the past. And it's, again, highly recommended to take insurance on this trip. And if you want more information about this, please reach out to us. This is a little screen, just talks about our budget. Obviously, we have the cruise. If you are interested in the cruise itself and you would want a brochure, please reach out to our office. We will be able to send a brochure out to you. Airfare, depending on where you're flying from, all that stuff, we estimate around $800 to $1,200 per person. And like I mentioned earlier, pre and post cruise tours, again, we're looking to have come out in March. Transfers, a pre-sale hotel stay. If you don't want to go on an extension, but you want to get there in advance, we'll have that option as well. Personal nature, so if you need to do spa service, laundry service, souvenirs and stuff like that, that's just a personal nature. You can budget for that, as well as gratuities. Gratuities, we always say about $20 per person per day is good. We should be tipping our cruise at the end of the cruise, as well as each of our tour guides along the way. And then travel insurance. We can get pricing for you and information about that. We offer payment plan for this. Initial deposit is $1,000 per person to sign up for the river cruise and to get a stateroom number assigned to you. With the second payment not due until May, $1,500, and then the final payment due in October. So at this point, I want to thank you for joining and listening to me for this session. If you have any questions, there's probably going to be a lot of questions out there today in regards to it, and we're here to answer those questions. So you can contact us at the phone number below or the email address, and we'll be able to assist you with that. As well as, oops, while I'm trying to get the screen here, here's some current expeditions that we're going on right now. We have Alaska Cruise coming up in June of this year, as well as an African Safari in July of this year, as well as August of 2022. Yes, we do have the Rhine River and our fantastic Antarctica trip scheduled for February of 2023. And I want to thank you all for listening today. And again, if you do have any questions, please reach out to us today. Thank you.